Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Brian here. Seeing this little clip is Nikki Haley a threat to Donald Trump? We're gonna have to see. I watched part of it, but I'm gonna watch it with you guys and girls, and just see what think and positive so often talk about it. So, let's get right into it.
Before you renew Amazon Prime, watch this.
Don't
Look, I
okay.
love Amazon Prime. Free 2-day
Pause
shipping.
this. Don't renew Amazon Prime. Make that guy a billionaire. Even more of a billionaire he is. Don't renew it. How about that?
49 days remain until the first votes are cast in the Republican contest in the Iowa caucuses. News media reports are filled with tales about the rise of Nikki Haley. She is supposedly in the middle of a boomlet. The evidence of this is that such luminaries as Jamie Dimon himself of J.P. Morgan have called to say that he is inspired by Nikki Haley. Now, Nikki Haley's boomlet is fueled by a couple of things. One, there have been a number of understudied debates. And on that debate stage, the cream, such as it is, has risen to the top. Now, when you look at that debate stage and the candidates who have been excised from the race, whether it be South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, whether it be former Vice President Mike Pence, these are people who just did not have the wherewithal, the ethics, the integrity, the substance to weather a presidential campaign. And so they're out early. Ron DeSantis has run one of the worst presidential campaigns in American history.
Yeah, I agree with this guy 100% on that. DeSantis, he had such an opportunity to take on Trump. If he would have played his money right and would have be holding Trump accountable and all that, he'd be the front runner right now. He really would be. But he really, people take him as an idiot now. And he's done a lot of good things in Florida, and he's got policies I agree with. But he's ran such a far right campaign, and just people see him as just not. People see him as not, like, they see him as fake. That's what a lot of people see him as. A lot of people saw Marco Rubio as, that's funny, other guy from Florida, they saw him as staged, like, scripted. That's what his entire campaign has been, on the debate stage, on interviews, entirely scripted, that his advisors and his secretaries and speechwriters were all writing these speeches for him. Like, like, I can agree, he's run a very, you take that part of it, of why he's not done well. He's had poor debate performances, and then you have him going farther to the right each day. Like, it's just been a horrible campaign. Refusing to go at Trump. Like, his campaign is just falling apart. And I can agree with that. One of the worst campaigns in all U.S. history. And the only campaign that I would say that was ran worse than Ron DeSantis' campaign would probably have to be Kamala Harris's in 2020. But I would say, yeah, I can 100% agree with him on that. He's very good. Very right about that, I should say.
He will soon be out of the race. That leaves
Now that, I don't know if I agree with that. DeSantis, I don't think, even if he drops down to low polling, I don't know if he'll drop out. I don't know. Even if he's at 2%, I don't know if he will. I mean, we'll have to see.
Ramaswamy, Nikki Haley, and Chris Christie. Vivek Ramaswamy is like a cartoon figure, a character from the play The Music Man. But instead of leading a band, he seeks to be the drum major of a populist movement as vice president and heir apparent. Vivek Ramaswamy sees the opening, and he is auditioning to be Donald Trump's loyal lieutenant. There will be no
True, I can kind of agree with that.
question in Donald Trump's mind about what Vivek Ramaswamy would do on the next January 6th. He'll do whatever the boss tells him.
Yeah, that's true. So I would be scared. He basically said he would have overturned the election. Like, that's scary. It is scary.
He's an ambitious young man. That leaves Chris Christie and Nikki Haley, two very flawed candidates, but a material difference exists between them. And no, it isn't the imaginary Nikki Haley boomlet. If it was real, by the way, wouldn't Nikki Haley be leading her home state, not down by 30, 40 points, depending on what poll.
True, you know, if she was really in this bill, like, you know, people say, like, RFK Jr., he's running as an independent. There's polls where he's actually ahead of Trump and Biden. There's not a single poll out there that has Nikki Haley ahead of Donald Trump or anywhere within striking range. Even in the state that she was the governor of, that she was governor of for 2 terms. Not 1, but 2 terms, you know. That's all I'm saying, you know. Really. That's all I gotta say. He's very right about that.
Poll you look at, Nikki Haley does have a chance in New Hampshire. Maybe. But so does Chris Christie. And at the end of the day, Chris Christie is the only candidate in that Republican race who kept his hand down, who said, no, I won't get in line behind Donald Trump. I won't get in line behind this madness. Whatever Chris Christie has done in the past, Chris Christie has been direct, open, and honest about in a way that Nikki Haley simply is not.
True.
And this is a decisive test of character. In this moment, we're moving on from Donald Trump, must be at the forefront of the national discussion before it's too late.
Yeah. You know, if he's the Republican nominee again, there's a good chance the Republican Party is never going to win another national election again. There is a real chance of that. And when he's talking about the Chris Christie thing, that is true. You know, Chris Christie has done a lot of corrupt shit in his past. A lot of stupid stuff too. But he owns it. You know, Chris Christie is owning that, yes, I voted for Donald Trump not once but twice. I endorsed him not once but twice. I campaigned hard for him in 2016. And I was friends with him. I attended his inaugurations and everything. Like, Chris Christie's owned that. I defended him multiple times. Chris Christie's owning that. Nikki Haley, it seems like she doesn't want to own that she worked for Trump and that she endorsed him. She doesn't want to own that. She won't even answer it. So, I mean, in all honesty, the only Republican that I'm not going to vote for any of them. Even Chris Christie I wouldn't vote for. But if, out of any of the Republicans, there's only, in all honesty, I do agree with Vivek on his foreign policy stance, but there's only one Republican that I would not genuinely be scared at night, and I'd be able to sleep at night, is Chris Christie. Because, yes, sure, I don't think Chris Christie's going to be a great president. Sure, I think he'd probably be better than Biden and Trump, but, you know, at least Chris Christie is honest, and he's the only one he's a very career politician, but he's the only one telling the truth about Trump and where the party is and stuff, you know. Nikki Haley, when you ask her, was the 2020 election rigged? She won't even answer it. She refuses to answer the question. Same with Ron DeSantis. Well, DeSantis finally admitted it after he won't tell you if it's rigged, but he finally admitted Joe Biden won the election after over 2 years of not commenting on it. Vivek was saying, oh, yeah, it was rigged. Like, yeah, you know, Asa Hutchinson does go at Trump, but Asa Hutchinson has only answered if Trump's prosecuted. Chris Christie only answered it, said he wouldn't support if he's prosecuted. He won't answer if he's not prosecuted. Chris Christie said he does not care if he's charged or if he's not charged. He's not going to support him. And because the acts of January 6th, what he did the night after the election, him being a failed president and a failed candidate, he's not going to vote for him. He's not going to endorse him. He's not going to support him. So, you know, Chris Christie's the only point-blank candidate. I don't think. You know, like I said, I still think Chris Christie is going to win New Hampshire. I do. I think that's the only state that any other candidate but Trump actually stands a chance at winning. I think it'll be Christie at the end of the day. I don't think, but Iowa and South Carolina and every other state, I think they're all going to get destroyed, including Christie. I think the only state that, as of right now, 47 days left, New Hampshire looks like it's going to be the only state that's competitive. The rest of the states, it's just going to be Donald Trump winning in a landslide. But that's just what it looks like. If his supporters show up, that could be a thing that could help them. If a lot of his supporters don't show up in them states, which they most likely will, that could help them. But yeah, you know, right now, New Hampshire looks like the only state that you could beat Trump in, and it's going to be Christie, in my opinion. But all the other states now, I think they're just going to be landslides for Trump. You know, because he's the lowest state he's in is New Hampshire, and he could very well win that. He's like 11 points ahead. The rest of the states, he's 20, 30, 40. And there's one state, I think in Delaware, he's like 50-some points ahead. Like, how are you going to beat him there? It's just, it's rough. So, yeah, you know, that's my thoughts on it. I don't think Nikki Haley's not going to be, listen, it is still relatively early. You know, you've got 50 primary states and a Republican convention, so things could change, but I just don't think they are. Alright, everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like this video, please share this video, and most importantly, please subscribe to the channel. We're at 46 subs. Thank you all so much. All right, have a good night, everybody, and stay true to who you are.